you for tuning into Boomers in Bergen. My name is Linda Wolf.
And I'm Fran Monteleone.
So today it's our special privilege to introduce to Boomers in Bergen, Stephen and Susan Kornblatt. So let's begin by telling our audience your background.
Okay, we grew up in Leonia,
Yep.
and my dad went over to Richfield to teach. I'm glad that he got to meet you. And Susan and I dated during high school, so that's one of the
Sweet 16.
Sweet 16.
Ah, see that?
And I went on to Penn State for a degree in marketing.
And I went to Rutgers for pharmacy school.
Awesome. That's great. So let's talk about Susan. Let's give her an opportunity because I know from Stephen that he says you're the brains behind the operation. Is that true?
Of course.
Awesome. So tell us your background, just a little bit, you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
We grew up in Leonia.
Yep.
I went to Rutgers College of Pharmacy,
Right.
as it was known at the time. We got married when I was still in school during winter break, and had a family, got married, had a family, and
Did you work as a pharmacist?
my whole life, yes,
Oh,
and still do, part-time.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's so interesting that you
Yes.
work as a pharmacist. And Steve, you worked.
I worked selling advertising for the Record newspaper.
The Bergen Record,
Okay, Record.
we might add.
And so
Yep.
what brought you all to your changing career? How did you decide? What day did you look at each other and say, we want to change what we're doing? And how did you come to choose the idea that you chose, if you could share that?
Awesome.
Okay. I think it began when we started traveling. We were married for 25 years and went to Italy and met people from all over, but Steve fell in love with Italy.
We love
And-
Italy.
yeah.
We've been there.
Many times.
Yeah.
And
It's
you would
beautiful.
speak to the people there, and we loved talking to the locals, and where are you from, where are you from? And one person we remember said, oh, you're from New York? We want to come to New York. That's our dream, to come to New York.
Wow.
And Steve
And
said,
that's what it
why
started.
do you want to come to New York? You live in Italy. This is the most
Beautiful
beautiful
place.
place in the world. And basically, as we remember, I kicked him under the table and I said, you know, no, we live in the greatest city
Yeah, we
in
do.
the world. And when we got home, we decided to treat New York like we were tourists and got the guidebooks and just started exploring and researching. So that's how it all began.
And Steve, for you, is that when you remember that the seed was planted, or
Yeah.
was there a different process for you?
Well, I mean, the fact that I was interested in travel, and I continued to be interested in travel, and Susan had the good point. I didn't respect New York like I did the European vacation. So I did come home and I started looking at New York as if it was one of my destinations, and I read about it and I learned about it, and I fell in love with New York.
Isn't that wonderful?
Yes.
Did you ever get discouraged? You know, maybe there was like from the beginning, was there ever any discouragement?
Yeah, I would say that I came out of an advertising background, and I caught the lip of social media and search, and I figured, oh, I'm going to be able to handle this no problem. And what I realized is that my training allowed me to get interaction. There were a lot of people liking and following, and there was conversation, but it really didn't turn into business. People weren't signing up for the tours. So we had to adapt, and Susan had a great idea. She started communicating with concierges.
I remember Steve once said to me at the beginning, he said, get me my first paying person. Get me one.
You know that,
one person, and let's see how it goes. Because originally how we started this was all through donations. So different organizations that we would be involved with, and they would have a fundraiser, we would let them donate let them like auction off our
A
tour.
tour. Mhm.
Yeah,
And
that's
the
good.
people would
Yeah.
give the money to the organization, and we would give them a
Mhm.
tour. And then we said, this is nice. Maybe we can make a few
That
dollars
was your
doing
that was
this.
the beginning of your marketing plan, it sounds like.
Right.
So just one more thing I'd like to explore with you. Can you identify, each of you, one skill that you feel was very transferable
Yeah.
into this new business idea? So you were a pharmacist, you were in advertising, but what was it about a daily task that you enjoyed that you could transfer then into your own business?
Well, for me, it's easy. I was out selling advertising on the road, so and I would sell to small groups of advertising agencies. So it was verbal communication for me that transferred into verbally explaining on the tour what was going on at whatever site we were at.
For me, I worked as a pharmacist, but part of that role was to do presentations and on how the pharmacy was doing and quality assurance, things like that. So I have some experience using the computers and kind of learning how to manipulate programs. And I like working with computers. I work on our website, and I got to learn how TripAdvisor works and, just posting blogs and pictures. So I think part of that was transferable.
Can
The
I
brains,
ask Stephen?
the brains.
I was just going to say, how do you?
Sounds like the perfect partnership.
Oh,
The
awesome.
detail-oriented
Yes,
technical
yes,
person
yeah.
and the big picture marketing person, and
Yes.
so your business could
Yes.
thrive.
So I have a question. What's it like to participate in a Cormlet tour? Let our audience know what they can expect.
Well, I know I love it because it's like being away. You are, you might live in New Jersey or even New York, and you're away for the day. You're sightseeing and touring and meeting new people on the tour, and it's a lot of fun. Eating new foods.
Yeah.
So our niche was people that lived in this area that really didn't bother going into New York. But we've also had people that would come from, distant places that are seeking out something different. People we find come in for conferences all the time to New York, but they've seen the same old thing, so they like our food tour in Jackson Heights.
Awesome. Yeah.
So we're getting a mix of people now.
Isn't it crazy? I know when people come to visit with us, with our family, they always want to go into the city. And, we, for years we worked there. We're like, oh, we got to go back in. But what's incredible to me? It's because of those family or friends. I saw the Statue of Liberty.
Right.
I never saw it.
That's
How
right.
embarrassing.
That's right.
It's
Or-
true. You
yeah.
discover the city through relatives that come to visit you.
That's right.
So this sounds like a real need that people have in general, both people that live in the area and tourists. Can you tell us a little bit? You have a food tour. What other kind of tour do you have?
Well, 3 of the tours are regional neighborhood tours, and you've got the Financial District,
Right.
Greenwich Village, and the Lower East Side. And those you meet at a central spot, and you tour for about 2.5 hours from about 10 to 12:30. And the other thing is that it's always a delicious tour because we have specific places where it's
Awesome.
optional,
Stop
but
to
you
eat.
can stop to eat for lunch.
Fabulous.
Most everybody does, and I
Sure.
would say our favorite is, as far as popularity, would be the Lower East Side. We finish at Katz's Deli.
Oh, love Katz's.
And
The
no
pastrami
matter-
sandwich.
yes,
Gotta
exactly,
have one.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's a real experience. It even ends up as
Right,
that experience
right.
with food. Well, was really an exciting conversation, wasn't it?
I had fun, and knowing his dad was my history teacher, I think he would be proud. Yeah.
Yes, and your questions he would have approved.
Oh, he would have? Okay,
Yeah,
that's good.
and your questions too.
So here we are. We have our boomers in Bergen that have changed their lives mid-career and followed their passion. And what a pleasure to have them here.
And now that we've come to the end of our show, and if you want to ever get in touch with the Cormlets, this dynamic duo, you could reach them at cormletstour.com.
Yes.
So until the next episode, Fran, we say Experience never
ages.